And now the news. Premier Dr. Orlando Smith presented two areas that government is currently focusing on to revitalize the tourism industry. During a press conference on Tuesday, Premier Smith discussed direct air access to the territory and the official opening of Gun Creek as a port of entry. Both are part of government's tourism agenda to re-energize the sector. Government is currently in consultations with local, regional, and international carriers to fly non-stop directly to and from the United States, Asia, and Europe. And according to Premier Smith, this is important for the long-term sustainability of the tourism industry.
Direct flights to the territory mean that the industry become more viable. We want to give those who have been interested in tourism a reasonable assurance that we can get the people here the same day. We want to come to the territory directly and not to stop all over. We are recognized by providing never before possible access to our tourism product and commercial traffic. We will definitely be propelling our high-end tourism sector to levels soon limited by the imagination of its principles and the tolerance of the people of the Virgin Islands. In that regard, we are embarking on an expansion of the Beef Island Airport. Now, while I said that we are embarking on the expansion, my colleague Dr. Priggin has been having discussions about this, and he described the option. At the same time, he also said that we are doing all the necessary environmental studies to ensure that whatever we do, whichever option we take, that there will be no impact, no damage or minimal impact on the environment. You're speaking specifically about Trellis Bay and the areas surrounding the airport.
The Premier disclosed that in the interim, talks are ongoing with LIAT to offer increased flights between the BVI and Puerto Rico, as well as possible connections with LIAT in Antigua, particularly with the looming withdrawal of American Eagle from Puerto Rico. In addition, BVI Airways is expected to begin direct flights to Miami in upcoming months.
Right now, many of the visitors come via the ferry from St. Thomas. And we are having discussions with the ferries to ensure that the visitors can get here in a timely fashion. What happens now is that sometimes the late flights, when they come into St. Thomas, they cannot get the ferry because there's no late ferry. And therefore they must stay over in St. Thomas when they really do not wish to do that. And so we are having discussions with ferries about the schedules to be able to have a better transfer of visitors from the mainland to BVI via St. Thomas. We also having discussions with LIAT to have regular flights, more regular flights between BVI and Puerto Rico, Beef Island and Puerto Rico. These are discussions which we have begun to ensure that. As you know, American Airlines has been reducing their flights, and LIAT has also been considering reducing their flights. But hence the reason for discussion with them to ensure that we have access to our visitors can have access via Puerto Rico. We're also discussing with LIAT better access to Antigua, so we could connect with the flights coming into Antigua, the international flights coming into Antigua. And among those discussions, we are thinking about having the airport authority will be considering and very likely will open the airport earlier to accommodate some of those flights. As the other thing is we also have been discussing with another company who wants to start a direct flight between BVI and Miami, and they intend to start that very soon, within the next few months, I'm told.
Emphasizing that North Sound is one of the most desirable vacation locations in the Virgin Islands, the Premier says government understands the importance of developing the area and plans to have the official opening of the port of entry on May 18th.
Last month we declared Gun Creek a port of entry, and we've put together a committee who are looking at having that formally open. It's open now, but having a formal ceremony. When is the ceremony going to be?
End of May.
Around in next month, about the middle of next month, to have it formally declared a port of entry. And at the same time, the committee is also looking at being asked to look at the development of the Gun Creek area as a destination. We recognize that there is quite a lot of activity in the North Sound by the various people who visit there, in the yachts and super yachts, etc. And we know that if we were to make North Sound, develop Gun Creek in a realistic way, in a very good way, we could make it a destination so that we'll have spin-off. Certainly the people in North Sound and Virgin Gorda will have spin-off from the activities in that part of the North Sound area.
The Premier also discussed the appointment of Janice Brathwaite Edwards as a tourism liaison officer in the Premier's office. He said Mrs. Brathwaite Edwards is working with the ministry in the revitalization of the Crafts Alive market. She will also be looking at developing amenities for the beaches and creating policies geared towards beach management, among other tourism-related activities.